I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration, Relationship Tips with Shari. If you can hear me or if you cannot hear me, please let me know. I've been experiencing audio difficulties with the live streaming. So as you come in, let me know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Drop a comment and let me know if you can hear me. I was just experiencing audio difficulties on the last live streaming. So I need for somebody to tell me if they can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Everybody in the audience, let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm going to drop the link for you, Shari. Okay, Shari can hear me. Okay, good. I'm going to drop the link, Shari. You come on up. There go the link, Shari. Click the link and come on up. Relationship tips with Shari. As I stated before, most relationships have issues. Most relationships doesn't make it or work because there's always someone or people outside of the relationships giving their opinions on the relationship. We need to stop involving other people in our relationships because the relationship is between you and him or you and her. So outside forces should not be giving no opinions and no advice on the relationship. Most of the times, the people that's giving you advice on your relationship, most of the times, their relationship ain't together. So why would you take advice and opinion from somebody else that's not happy in their relationships? Think about that for a minute. Why would you take advice from somebody that's not happy in their relationships? They're going to always try to tell you, oh, I wouldn't put up with that. Oh, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't let her do that to me. I wouldn't let him do that to me. But their relationship ain't squeaky clean. Fellas, stop getting in other women's ear. Stop trying to tell them about their man. Sis, I wouldn't put up with that if I was you. All right, there we go, Shari. There we go, Shari. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine.
Nice shirt.
Thank you. It was a birthday gift.
I see.
I like it.
Hi, everybody. Who's here?
Nicole tapped in. Deborah tapped in. I had to shut it down because for some strange reason, it seemed like I always have to shut the live down and then make another live. Because the first live, nobody could hear me. So I take it that, everybody can hear since you said you could hear me. So relationship tips. Let me ask you, Shari. How do you feel about other people being in other people's relationship, as far as speaking on their relationships, as far as giving opinions and giving their advice? How do you feel about other people being in other people's relationships?
Well, you know, us girls, we always go to our girls to talk. But my friends, like, we're very straightforward. You know, if we see something that we think is off, even, I mean, my girlfriends, they're gonna tell me straight up. I was on a dating site once, and I saw my best friend's husband. I took me 2 weeks to confront her. Physically, I was physically sick when I had to tell her, and when I told her, she already knew. I mean, and she's like, "It took you 2 weeks to tell me. You didn't call me that day." But I mean, how do you tell somebody? How do you tell somebody? You know, I had to do that twice, two different friends. I mean, crazy.
What happened when you told her that you seen her husband on the dating app? What happened in their relationship? Did she leave him or did she stay with him?
They're still together.
Okay.
Still together.
Let's stay right there. Let's stay right there. As I stated a few minutes ago, stay out of people's relationships. You might think that you're doing something when you tell somebody else about their relationship, but most of the times they end up still staying with that woman. Most of the times they end up staying with that man. So stay
But
out of other folks' relationship. Go ahead, Sharon. Go ahead.
she was the type of woman that if she would have found out any other time before she was married, she was dating, you cheated, you were gone.
Yeah.
You were gone. So, like, I am shocked that she is still with him.
Yeah.
But he, to this day, he regrets. They don't sleep together. They sleep in separate bedrooms. They don't have sex.
Mm.
And I think it's his guilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he messed up. He messed up.
How do you feel about sex in the relationships? You know, marriages as well as living, as well as girlfriend, boyfriend. Do you think that sex is a major part?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
absolutely.
Why do you feel that? Why do you feel that?
Well, everybody says that sex doesn't keep a man, but I think that is a vital connection. Um, some people say it's the endorphins. Some people say it's um, for me though. It was important in all my relationships, but it didn't keep my man. Um, all my relationships, my men have cheated, which I don't understand. And but I do think sex is very important. You know, I had a mother that sex was dirty. Um, she didn't like it, so therefore she personified it as a bad thing. I have a girlfriend that her mom, church girls, don't I don't want to get into bad things, but I mean, church girls don't do certain things. You know, the other things are for dirty girls, and sometimes I think whenever you're a Christian woman, um, you're not supposed to do certain things. But I think when you're in a relationship, if you're in a if you're in a marriage, like what's in your marriage, that's private and that's between you and your husband. And if you both agree to it, I don't think anything is wrong. Now, bringing an outsider in, that is wrong, you know. But I think if you and your partner agree to it, and there's nobody that's saying, I don't like that, respecting each other's boundaries, I think anything goes.
How do you
But that's my opinion.
Yeah, how do you feel about oral sex? We all grown here, so we can speak on this topic. How do you feel about oral sex
Now
in the relationship?
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Okay, well, we're not going to talk about that. What do you feel? Because see, I'm just building off of your
right. Well,
last
I mean, that's the thing
comment.
that when I said, my girlfriend's mother, dirty girls didn't do that stuff. Like, so I'm just saying, if you're comfortable with it, you know, I don't want to put my personal stuff out there, you know.
It's well, okay. In my opinion, I think that oral sex is upon the two individuals. You know, it's a part of sex. You know, it's more to sex than just the uh uh man's organ
Correct.
entering.
Well, it's I mean, for a woman, it's sometimes it's what leads up to it. It's
Right,
not just, oh, let's just hop in bed. I mean, you know,
right,
are you are you sloppy drunk at the bar? Let's go home. I mean,
right, but through religion, and I'm not attacking my
right.
religious folks. I'm not attacking my religious folks, but religion has made sex
A bad thing.
a bad thing. I don't know why. Maybe my biblical scholars can come up and talk about why religions made sex a dirty uh, uh, a
Yeah,
dirty.
but when God created Adam and Eve, they were naked walking in the garden and weren't ashamed. It wasn't until they sinned that they had to cover themselves up. So God made it so that it was a beautiful thing. And it's still, if you read the song, if you truly read the Song of Solomon, I mean, that is a very sexual book. And he is truly in love with his woman and experiencing her to the fullest effect. I mean, if you truly read it right. And that is the way that God intended sex to be. I mean, like, Eve was made from his rib. She is him. I mean, and I was at one wedding where when the preacher explained what the wife was supposed to be to the husband and how he was supposed to care for her and what they were when they came together. I wish I had the tape or the CD from that wedding because it was, oh my goodness. If two people could understand that whenever they come together, what they are to each other is it's the most beautiful thing.
It really is. And me growing up, because sex, when I was coming up, as well as you, it was presented to us as a bad act. It was even presented to us as even something bad to talk about. Well,
Right.
once I came into the knowledge and the understanding, and once I had a chance to see sex for what it is, sex is a very beautiful experience, as well a beautiful art. To me, when it comes to sex, it's an art. But if it's not taught to us, if it's taught to us as a bad thing, then even speaking on it at our age, I've been in conversation with people my age and older, and they'll
Right.
and
But I think in today's world, the young kids expect, I mean, I take you to dinner, they expect that to be the ending.
right,
It's casual sex. But then that's when I say soul tie, I tried to explain to my kids that you have sex with somebody there's an attachment, especially for a woman. There's an attachment. Then you have sex with the next person. That attachment goes to the next person. It's kind of like the old Clairol commercial. And if you're young, you won't remember, but it was in so on and so on and so on. And every square got bigger and bigger and bigger till there was like hundreds of people in the square,
Yes.
you know? And it's, if I can explain to you my cancer is from HPV, and HPV isn't one virus. There's 17 of them. At our age, we didn't know what HPV was.
Right, right.
My first husband was a serial cheater. So every time he was with a woman and then he came home and he was with me, he brought a piece of that woman to me.
Yes, yes.
So that virus, you know, a virus doesn't go away. Like if you have herpes or if you have whatever. So it takes 20 years for herpes to turn into cervical cancer. So hence 6 years ago, I got a nice little present. Which woman? I don't know. How many women? I don't know. You know, does in my brain, I said, somebody said, how do you feel about that? And I said, someday he's going to get elephantitis blue ball syndrome. They say, what's that? I said, I don't know. I have it made up in my head. His balls are going to get giant. They're going to be blue, and he's not going to be able to walk because they're going to be so huge. Why do you feel that way? Well, I had to have half of my vagina removed because a man cheated on me for 24 years. Did I forgive him? I've asked God to forgive him. But I just had another positive cancer test. So how do you forgive somebody for that? I had to have pieces of me removed. How do you forgive somebody for that? So I was a virgin till I was 19. He was the second person I was with. How do you deal with that?
I want to stay there, but I'm just going to jump.
Go ahead.
Topic just a tad bit, but it's similar to it. In a relationship, how do you feel as far as a woman? I'm going to flip it. How do you feel if a woman cheats on her husband, not her boyfriend? If a woman cheats on her husband and she gets pregnant from the outside relationship, where do the husband stand at in this? Should he divorce her, or should he stay with her and accept the child as his child? What do you think?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I guess it would depend on the couple. There would have to be a lot of counseling involved. I mean, I've watched some of those videos where it's a white couple and the baby comes out black. You know, I don't know. In my experience and the heartache that I experienced, every time you'd look at that child, it would be so hard, so very hard. And I could take in stepchildren. I did that, but then those stepchildren hurt me very bad. I have had a stepdad, a stepmom, adopted, people come into our family. I can't speak for anybody. Like I said, I've had friends that they married somebody that had a baby, and adopted the baby, but the dad was no longer in the picture, or the mom was no longer in the picture. But oh gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Now, let's flip it. If a man brings another woman into the bedroom, let's say it's a threesome.
Never.
Listen, just listen. And it's the husband, the wife, and the third party, which is a woman. And the man catches feelings for the woman.
I'm just going to tell you right now, those things I don't stand for any of it. So I'm not going to express opinion. Nobody's jumping in anywhere. I can't even give an opinion because I can't. I won't. Sorry.
How do you feel about relationships that started out as friends, but then
The best relation. Those are the best.
okay, speak on it. Why do you think that those are the best relationships?
Because it didn't start out as a infatuation or oh, hey, I thought he was really cute. You weren't like, hey, he's good looking, or you weren't trying to find out things about him, researching, it was a casual friendship. It wasn't instant heart palpitations, and it wasn't the love bomb first. You were friends first. So you knew the person, you hung out with the person, I think you have that bond first before you have all the love feelings first. So instead of having all the mushy gushy sex, making out, whatever, you have a bond before you get to that part. And I think sometimes I think I've been reading a lot on like long distance relationships, and sometimes those relationships end up better than relationships that are close, because you actually have to communicate. You're talking on the phone, you have to make a point to spend time with that person communicating, instead of just, I'm going to stop by, or I'm going to have lunch, or you actually have to make a point to get to know that person, because they're not in your town. They're not, they even talk about, like, if you can't get to see them for a few months, do creative dates, or but it all makes sense, because you have to really work at that relationship, or you have to, so I think sometimes, girls can be mean. So like, you have to work at your friendships there. Girls talk. Girls, so why wouldn't a friendship work better first than, if you're communicating? Communication is key. Talk about everything. If something's bugging you, talk about it. And I think that's where relationships fail, because it festers. Like think of when you get a splinter. If you don't get that splinter out, it's going to be sore. It's going to be, I don't know, it's going to bug you until you have to have somebody get the tweezers, or you have to go to the hospital, because I don't know. Where did he go? Why am I alone? I didn't say that a married woman or a man should have a friend or a guy friend. It never works. I did not say that at all. I was saying you should be friends first before you start the relationship. I think if you're in a marriage, like that men having women friends and women having men friends, that's totally off limits. If you both have a mutual friend that's a female, yeah. But I don't think that like, Shank, if we were together and you're in North Carolina and you have female friends that you're hanging out with, I think that's a definite off limits thing. Because Definitely wouldn't be hanging out with guys. I mean, so
What kills a relationship, in your opinion? What destroys a relationship? And you could give me multiple.
cheating,
Cheating, that's one. What else?
keeping secrets, you know, social media, social media, um, cell phones. You know, if I am with some, even if I'm with my girlfriends, and I hate this because I'm going to spend time with one tomorrow, and she will be on her phone. If I'm with you and I'm going to spend time with you, and I don't get much time with my friends because I work 2 jobs, my phone is off. My phone is in my purse. I will check it randomly to see if anybody's called me, texted me, needs me, but I am not on my phone. I have 2 friends that when I'm with them, they are on there. This is the whole time. And I'm talking to them and they're answering me, but damn it, I'm spending time with you. Put your damn phone down. I haven't seen you in 6 months. What is so important on that damn phone that you can't spend a couple hours with me? And if you are with your significant other, put your damn phone down. Put it on silent. You can check it, but what is so important that you can't spend time with your person? Now, if you're both on your phones, great. You know, if you're both checking, that's great. But there's nothing that is so important that you can't put that phone away. Sorry.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
I understand, but today we all know that everything in the world today is social media driven. So,
Every social media site has the potential to be a dating site, and you have to be very guarded.
right. But what I'm saying is this, like, you, an individual might be on social media. They might be on social media checking. They might be into stocks and bonds. Uh, they might have their own business going on. It's a whole lot of different things that's going on in social media today that, hey, it's hard to get around not being on the phone as well as the social media. Let me finish. Now, I can understand if we're going out on a date. I can understand because I believe that most relationships have date night. Most relationships have movie night. Most relationships have times set aside for the couple. Now, if it's date night, nah. Nobody should be on a phone when it's date night. When it's movie night or whatever time or whatever night it is, the phone should be down. I agree. But as I just stated, with everything today being social media driven, and then, people got family members and, they might, live out of state. So, they might be on their phones, talking to, their loved ones. It's all kind of reasons why they could be on that phone.
And
And we have to compromise and we have to understand. Like, I'll use me and you for an example. Let's say me and you are a couple. Okay. I know that you have a lot of different things going on. I know that you have family. I know that you have friends. I also know that that's your cell phone. You brought the cell phone. You paid for the cell phone. So regardless of what, that's your cell phone. And you should be allowed to stay on your cell phone all night long if you want to.
Well, I'm also a grown woman, and I'm also very respectful. Two people wanted to talk to me before I came on here, and I said, well, I won't be available until after 9 o'clock. So, I mean, you have to pick and choose your battles. You have to, I mean, I posted a video on TikTok, and it was about priority. And if somebody is important to you, they will make you a priority. And when you know that you're a priority, or where you are in the priorities of their life, then you know your importance. So, I mean, if it's part of your job and you say, "Hey babe, you know, like I'm going to be getting a couple phone calls tonight, da 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 da, or I got to work on this." Okay. But if you're on that phone constantly, nah. You know, and there's this, you know, if I tell somebody that I'm going to call them back, or I mean, sometimes I fall asleep. Sometimes I get busy. Sometimes I get another phone call. But even if I think you're in bed, or I think, you know, I'll say, "Hey, I'm really sorry I fell asleep." So that way, if you wake up, or the next morning, it'll be like, "Oh my gosh, she didn't forget about me," or she didn't. But that's just me. I'm going to let you know, "I'm really sorry I fell asleep. I know I said I'd call you back." Or, you know, "Hey, I know I said I'd call you in 10 minutes, but my dad called me," you know.
I'm gonna invite some people up on the stage. If there's anybody out there that want to come up on the stage and ask Shari any relationship tips, or if you want to just come up on the stage and give your relationship tips, click the link. And while we wait for somebody to click the link to come on up, if I could get everybody, I see a lot of new faces, I see a lot of new people that's in the audience, but if I could get everyone, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, if I could get you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if I could get you to hit the like button as well. Let's get them likes up.
Everybody, Andrea that was here the other night, that's my friend. She has cancer, and she was diagnosed with pneumonia today, and she's going for a test on Thursday. They think she might have a cancer spot in her lung.
Mm.
So right now she has multiple tumors. So if everybody could pray for her.
Yeah, if everybody can send Andrea a prayer.
She's 46, a nurse, and she has a 12-year-old son.
So if everybody out there can, you know, tonight before you go to sleep, and you say them prayers, tomorrow when you wake up and you say them prayers, when you're in your car, wherever you're at.
Yeah, she's a domestic violence survivor like me.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
Yeah. And
And when Shank wanted me to talk about relationships, I'm like, I am like no expert, because I'm twice divorced and I was in two domestic violence situations. So I'm like, what can I bring to the table? Because everybody that I've dated has cheated and left me. So don't think that I'm going to give you like great advice. I can just share my opinion.
and for everybody out there that's inquiring about the $1 Million Thing movie, it's coming. I've been experiencing a lot of red tape, a lot of behind the scenes difficulties. It's coming. But I tell y'all, I ensure that it's a knockout blockbuster movie. The $1 Million Thing movie will be coming soon. I'm going to run a trailer for y'all. Let me run the trailer. $1 Million Thing, the movie starring Shank, also Big Lou, Charleston White, Snoop, Felicia Pearson from The Wire, and many, 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 many other people. Deborah Arthur McIntosh, that's in the audience, she's in the movie as well. So it's coming. It's coming. Let's take a question from Deborah. She says, Sherry, why do you think you attract those kind of men?
I've been asking myself that question for years. I was talking to Shank the other night, and I said, I suffer from like abandonment issues. My parents separated whenever I was 7. That was back whenever parents weren't getting a divorce. And I guess this is why I hold on to relationships. Like I try so hard. I'll just tell the story, unless you want me to stop. You guys just said.
You go ahead.
My dad was working 3 jobs so that my mom did not have to. He was a machinist. He worked afternoons, and he worked a Saturday job. And then the high school, there was no vocational schools yet. And his machine shop teacher called him and said, "Hey, John, I think you would be an excellent teacher. You can apprentice under me, but you have to go to school and get your vocational degree." So that was something that my dad wanted to do. When he presented it to my mother, there was 3 kids, me, and then my sister's 4 years after me, and my brother's 15 months after my sister. My mom was totally against it. That wasn't their plan for their marriage. She didn't want him going to college. She didn't, we would have had to move, because vocational schools are by 5 counties, 3 counties, depending how. And I mean, my mom fought my dad 100%. My dad started college, and he would take me sometimes, because we had to go to Kent State, Maine campus, and the librarian would watch me while Dad was in class. So my dad and I spent a lot of time together. Now, mind you, I would have been probably 5, 6 then. Sometimes Dad would take me, when I didn't have school, with him to class at the high school, and I could be in his office, and I could be in the machine shop. And so my mom kept saying, "You don't want your dad to be a teacher, because then we're going to have to move, and you're going to be away from your friends and your family, and you'll never see your grandma." And we lived right beside my cousins, so they were at our house all the time. So Dad was having a hard time with writing his papers. So one of the guidance counselors at the high school said, "Why don't you get one of the English teachers to help you?" Well, the one English teacher's daughter was in my kindergarten class. Perfect. I could go play. Dad could get help. And her husband wasn't handy around the house. So in payment for help of writing the papers, Dad did Mr. Fix-It things around our house. Well, hence, an affair happened. So, and she was struggling in her marriage, and she was pro, "You can do it, John. This is great, da, 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 da." So, and my mom was just, she did not want to move. She wasn't moving. That was not the plan for the family, da, 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 da. So hence, my dad chose this other woman over my mom. And my mom, to this day, never thought my dad would make it. Never thought my dad and my stepmom would still be together, because they both cheated on their spouses to be together. And she just recently said to me, "I can't believe your dad and Willie are still together." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, Willie cheated on Bruce, and your dad cheated on me." And I said, "Mom, what you don't understand is Willie believed in Dad. She was Dad's biggest cheerleader. And what dad wanted, she wanted. And if dad accomplished it, it was going to make her life better. And they both wanted the same thing. And my dad loves her to death. Now, she's a nagger too. But when I had my cancer surgery, my mom said, I can't come and take care of you. I have Bible school that week. My one friend, Lori, was with me. Tears. I mean, I went to the doctor, surgery was scheduled, it was that bad. And you call your mother, and your mother says, what week is that? I have Bible school. And my girlfriend says, what's wrong? And I said, it's Bible school. She said, give me your phone. She said, Donna, this is Lori. I am manning Sherry's phone for the rest of the day. If you need anything, you can call me. And she said, I'll be taking you to your surgery and I'll be taking care of you. Well, she had to have emergency gallbladder surgery. I called my dad, who lives in North Carolina. I said, Dad, I don't have anybody to be with me. I'll be there. And that's when I found out what a true husband, father, man is supposed to be. Because whatever I needed, he was there. So God then gave me a picture of what a husband should be. And my stepmom was jealous when he was here because she called him, and if he couldn't talk, she would get pissy. And I could just tell by my dad's reaction. But my dad's focus when he was here was me. So Dad and I have had a lot. My dad and I are very close. And that bothers my mother. My mother is jealous of me, and my stepmother is jealous of me because of the racial relationship that I have with my dad. But that was a long time coming because of the marriages that I was in that took me from my dad. But I think there's a very good book, and the guy's on TikTok. I'm going to do, if I shoot, where am I? Spin his book. It's the Desired Marriage.
What's his name?
Loki Howe. Why can I not do this? There it is. And it's marriage, scripture by scripture. What a wife is supposed to be, what a husband's supposed to be, and what God's desire for your marriage is supposed to be, if you want to follow it by the Bible. And I mean, God had a plan, an absolute plan, and it's perfect. If that's what you want, people, that's what people say they want, but I don't know if they truly want it.
Let's take this question from Rob. Robert wants to know, he says, is there a such thing as being always vulnerable?
Yeah, there is. Because I'm going to be 57. I just wanted somebody to love me. That's what I wanted. And, well, people are going to love you, but they're going to use you too. People are going to, lots of counseling. I have abandonment issues. I have post-traumatic stress. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but you gotta start recognize the signs. I don't put up with much BS anymore. Nip it in the bud fast. So, yep, lots of pain. I'm learning.
Matt wants to know, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do not. I'm just like, I just started the TikTok thing, and I started that because my granddaughter like wanted to do it, and then she like wanted to do other stuff, you know, because I'm old.
Drop your TikTok handle. Hey, Matt, she's going to tell you her TikTok handle so he can
I
follow
think,
you on TikTok.
what is it? Is it just Sherry Lee 1983? I think Sherry Lee 1983. And I started out domestic violence awareness, women empowerment. It's, you know, recognizing what a narcissist is. And lately it's been, I've done some end racism things. And then trying to get people to be aware of what's really going on in Ukraine, because Ukraine is like the #1 human trafficking country in the world. So I just posted a video. They at the border last night, they rescued a little 3-year-old Honduras girl that had a band on her arm, and the band was meant for her to be sold.
Can you show us, not to cut you off, can you show us that book again? And also
Sure
the
can.
author, somebody in the audience wants to know.
I am terrible with this. How am I?
Just step back. There you go. It's The Desired Marriage. Who's the author?
Low Key How. You can get it on. Yeah.
Low Key How.
Low Key, LO. Here, let me type it in my. Here.
The Desired Marriage is the book.
You can get it on Amazon.
You can get it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. He's a licensed therapist. He's on TikTok too.
Hi, Sherry. Hi, Shank.
Hey.
Welcome. What's up,
How's it
Bucky?
going? Can you guys
Glad
hear me okay?
Can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, salute you.
How's it going? Sherry,
right.
I just wanted to say I hope you find a good man because you deserve it. You know, it's wrong that you had to go through all those things, but they, you know, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I can tell you're a strong woman, Sherry. So thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes, you know, young and dumb, first time around, I didn't get saved until I was almost 40, and I got married at 19. So, you know, sometimes I think you make a choice, you know, God has you going in a direction, and you make a choice, and then he has to take you on a detour, however many detours it takes to get you on the right path. But yeah. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to join and say that thank you, because it's not easy to come in front of a live audience of all these people, talk about these things. But, you know, you're helping a lot of people out by sharing your experiences.
Thank you for that.
Hey, Bucky.
Yeah.
Since you up here, you might as well get some relationship tips.
Oh, geez.
What would be some things that can help a relationship stay a healthy relationship?
That's a great question, Shank. And some of the things when I've had, you know, before relationships went downhill is when the trust is there. Obviously, I think that's a key element. And knowing each other's boundaries. I mean, you shouldn't jump right into a relationship before you really know the person. Sometimes it's easy to, but when you do that and you don't know their boundaries, how can you respect them, and how can they respect yours? You know. So I think once you get into that relationship, you need to know what you're comfortable with and what the other is comfortable with, and you have to be able to openly express it. I think that's a very important factor. And when I've had relationships that's failed, that's typically what was missing.
Like, an important thing for me is, if you are a Christian and you're looking for a Christian partner, like, There is such a thing for equally yoked. That's biblical too. And, you know, if they're not on the same page as you, like, you don't pursue it because it's not going to work. It's not going to. And there's women, I'm just telling you, there's a lot of men that can fake it. They can, but they can fake a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing against you men, but I mean, when they listen to you and what you've been through,
You
I
got
mean,
you got 2 men up here.
I know, but I mean, they start listening to your stories and they're empathetic and they're,
Oh,
you know,
sneaky devil. Sometimes it's easy to just say what the other person wants to hear. You're not really
correct.
actually listening to them. And that comes to, I think a lot of men have ulterior motives, and then they're not fully honest with their women from the start.
Right.
And if you develop feelings after that, well, it's not going to work out, you know?
Yeah. Steve Harvey would tell you to date an ugly man because they'll do anything for they'll do anything for you. And they're not gonna leave you.
Are you guys Steve Harvey fans? Do you like Steve Harvey, Shank Rock?
Oh man, you know I love Steve Harvey. I grew up on Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Yep. But
Yeah, I hear a
look,
lot.
Everybody said, but there's a lot of people that say he's feeding us a line of BS. But it's like, you know, he does have a lot of valid points. You know, he was living out of his car at one time. So
let me just say this. They used to say that about dating ugly women. I tried it. The ugly women were worse than the pretty women.
well, they can be ugly men can be controlling because they're afraid that you're going to step out on them. You know, so it doesn't work either. You know, I was cheated on by an ugly man. So hey.
And Sherry, I think you bring up a great point that, you know, you got, like I said earlier, you got to lay down those boundaries. And as a man, I feel like there's certain aspects you have that, you know, you need to protect your woman, you need to love her, but you can't be controlling everything she does. You know, you can't have those hard boundaries and blow up. Like I see a lot of guys, they all up in their girlfriends' faces, you know, accusing them of different things. And it becomes very toxic very quickly.
Right.
So you got to form that trust.
Don't take that either. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of women that just, I'm not a fighter. So if that starts happening to me, I shut down and I get silent. Yeah. You know, because of my past, you know, where what you need to say is, I'm sorry. You're not going to talk to me that way. I'm done. You know what I mean? The first time it happens, you don't give them a second chance. You walk away. And I just watched something where they said that, like, for women in situations like I was in, I had a 5-year protection order against my first husband.
Wow.
And yeah. And there was weapons involved. But they said, you know, you're that type of person stalks you forever. Whether he's blocked you, you know, you don't think he has a social media site, he has a fake site. He's well, my mother that I was just talking about, my son sided with my husband. Now why, I don't know, because my son got the living crap beat out of him. I didn't leave until my children left, so I stayed 24 years.
Fathers have control over their boys like that, you know, they really do.
So my mom gets to see my son and his children. I do not. So my mom is afraid if she doesn't associate with my ex-husband, she will not get to see my son and my granddaughters. So, I'm like, so mother, when people see you with the man that I say did these horrible things, what do they think of me? Is Sherry a liar? Why would Sherry's mom be hanging out with him? I mean, so, but he will always, like, if I had surgery, Matt wants you to know that he's really sorry, or that he's sorry he gave me cancer. You know, you know, Matt wants you to know that whatever, something stupid. Mom, did you know that a narcissist will do that? Because the narcissist knows that you will come back and tell me that he said, so voila. So
fellas,
tough
fellas, we
situation.
got to do better in these relationships, man. I ain't throwing no shade. I ain't player hating. We got to do better. First, we got to stop putting our hands on these women, fellas. That's first.
But hey, 1 out of 7 men are in an abusive relationship too. So I'm not saying it's all men, but I'm just saying we've lost this. When you're with your person, they're your person, and men, your woman is your most prized possession. It's God first.
If it's not, then it wasn't meant to be.
Right. It's God, and we say our children, and I know I said the other night my children were first, but it's supposed to be God first, then your spouse, then your children. And
yeah, your children are something you're supposed to have with your spouse and value them equally. You know, it's something you're supposed to build together. And, you know, coming from a divorce home, you know, it's not
you
always
were one
like
of those
that.
children. Yeah. You're the pawn. You're the pawn.
And what Nicole said earlier, I'd like to bring up, she said mothers have more control of the boys. That may be true, but from what I've seen and from what I know, I think the boys end up acting like their fathers, tending to be like their fathers. And I think that's where a lot of issues can arise if the, father doesn't teach the right values and does the wrong things, for all those years.
Always trying to please. I mean, especially if you had a father that was, you weren't ever good enough. And I think that's with mothers too. You're constantly trying to like prove yourself. You want that acceptance, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was a mother's boy, My mom passed away in 2015. Rest in peace, Mom. But I was a mama's boy. And man, I love my mother, and man, but I was a mama's boy. So I feel where Nicole coming from, but then I also feel where you guys are coming from. Like, and it just depends on that father-son relationship,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think my dad had a lot of guilt leaving us, because he always said, I didn't leave you, I left your mother. But sometimes where he lived, because of his job, he only saw us once every 3 weeks. But as a child, that was hard, especially because I was the one that was always with him. He was my daddy. And now 2 other ladies are spending all their time with my dad.
Yeah.
So, and my mom married this is the dynamics. My dad, well, he was a machinist, but then he became a superintendent of a vocational school, and they're living country club life. And my mom marries a truck driver. Well, the truck driver came from a farm. So your kids aren't doing dishes. Your kids aren't cleaning the house on the weekend. Your kids aren't, well, all of a sudden, shoot, I'm child labor,
No, very different side of things. It's like two different lives.
Right? So all of a sudden she marries this man, and our household is like, you girls are peeling potatoes, and I'm just like, what the heck is this crap? I'm coming home from school and there's a note, fold the laundry, peel the potatoes, and I'm thinking, what is this? Excuse my French shit. I'm 9.
Yeah. Not on you.
But we had to have good grades, I got a B. What's this B? A B. It's a B. I don't know. Like, you're having me do the dishes. That's what this B is. So it was really rough. So girls couldn't drive. Girls rode the bus. Boys turn 16, they get a car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would be obnoxious.
Right? Okay. So it was, very.
So did the relationships, so as time changed, do you guys feel like because of the times relationships have gotten worse, or do you guys feel like because of the times relationships have gotten better?
From
Well,
what point?
yeah.
Like how?
Um,
I've been single for 8 years, so I think they've gotten worse.
so you think they got worse? What about you, Buck?
Well, Shank, it's kind of hard for me to speak on that fully because I'm only 20 years old. But, since I started dating for about the last 5 years, 6 years or so, it's easy to notice things feel a lot less intimate and a lot less interconnected when you're meeting people online and things of that nature. I've never really been an online dater, but it's hard when you're on social media, and whether you're with someone or not, you're going to be spammed with accounts of models and influencers and all that type of thing. And you're seeing so much of it, you're consuming it at such a rapid rate, but none of it's like real. And I think it's really messed with a lot of people and screwed with their idea of intimacy, screwed with their idea of love, and people don't know how to handle it. But, I still think there's a lot of ways to get out there. And, I just think the main difference is now it doesn't feel easy, especially since COVID, to go up to a girl and talk to her and get to know her. It's easy to send that DM, and sometimes it works out and you might meet that person. But, I think meeting people in real life, making those experiences is a positive thing. And it's just hard to do. Everyone's always on their phone. And we just live in this post-COVID world where it's like, how do I go up and talk to this girl I've never even seen before, And I'm sure that's what you had to do back in the day. Yeah.
But you know what? The first time somebody messages me, I say, if they say WhatsApp, they're a scammer.
Yeah. There's so many scammers now too. And it's sad because I see a lot of seniors online, people well into like their late 60s, 70s.
I was gonna say, be careful.
Yeah, even dudes in like their 20s and 30s, guys my age, and they're sending gift cards to girls. Girls are saying, if you send me $300, I'll fly out to see you, meet you. We can spend New Year's together. I see it all the time, and it's just tragic that these guys are falling for these things, and I think it's killing them. I think it's making them angry and resent women, and it's just not a good thing at all.
Oh, I can spot a scammer.
Yeah. I think most
seconds.
People should be able to, but I think so many people are desperately lonely, and they live in this online world where they're consuming all these beautiful women and like people living their life, and someone pops into their DM and it never happens before, and they can't help but get excited. But you definitely have to learn how to spot one.
Hey, you got to learn to use that block and delete button quick.
Yeah.
I'm a master at the art.
I believe it.
But truthfully asked, one of the first questions is, do you have an iPhone? Do you have Google Duo? And buddy, you get them on FaceTime, because if they just say, oh, I just like to text, or nah,
if they're really trying to get to know you, they wouldn't mind a phone call.
They post pretty pictures, and then that's first off, you can see exactly what they look like, and then text them or FaceTime them first thing in the morning.
That's the first thing I want to do is video chat. All right, let's video chat.
Yeah.
Once they be like, I'll be like,
yeah, let me see you without some makeup. Let me see,
Yeah, the real you. And it's hard to see that online, but it's possible. I've only met one girl online, and I dated her for about a month, and it was nice, but this wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. My I have two nephews. They're 20. They're both 23, and one's dated a girl all through high school, and the other one, man, he's struggling. But he's shy. He's very shy. He's got red hair. He hates his red hair, and
yeah. And that's another thing I think that's relevant to it. I think a lot of guys nowadays have these insecurities and self-hatred,
right?
And you got to move past that, because only negative things are going to happen out of it. You're gonna take it out on your other person, or you're just gonna be less appealing because of how insecure and how much self-doubt you have. And ladies love confidence, you know, and they might like a shy guy too, but there's a difference between being a little bit shy and constantly self-loathing and having that self-hate. So,
well, he came from a domestic violence home. It's my sister's boy, and he was raised right, though. He was protective of his mother. So,
right.
But then he gets taken advantage because of that.
Yep.
The girls
Yeah.
take advantage. So, you know, it's just now he's got a good job at Amazon, and it's just
chugging along.
hard to see the young ones because you're just like, ooh.
So, Shari,
Mhm.
how should a man approach you?
I'm very friendly and outgoing. So, like, I'm helping old people into the grocery store. I'm helping old ladies put their groceries in their car. I'm a smiler. Hi, how are you doing? You know, it's not hard to approach me at all, unless you're
Yeah.
creepy looking. Then I'm
It's
like,
very easy
if
to
I,
talk.
like, you're gonna know that, like, I don't want to talk to you if I'm like looking away or not making eye contact. So it's not. I mean, I will talk to anybody. I mean,
Would
you
a
can.
would an older man that's in his 70s, would he have a chance with
Mm-mm.
you?
No. Nope.
Still too young.
Yeah.
Maybe in a decade or
It's the
so.
30 somethings that say, oh, age doesn't matter. And I'm like, I'm going to be 57. My kids are 34 and 35. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to raise another child.
Have you ever had a younger man in
I
his
have.
20s or 30s?
No, he was 37, but he was very immature. Very. I mean, he said he was mature, but
That's a
he had
tough thing with the age
he had anger
difference.
issues, and then he had a child that was my grandchildren's age.
Wow.
So I don't really want to raise another child. And
Yep.
some men say, well, and I say, you know what? I'm sure your second wife was younger. You went through this midlife crisis, for whatever reason. She wanted a baby. She was thinking, he's got money. Well, now you won't have any money until you're 70. So where's my life? I won't have one. I'm ready to live. I'm 57. I've been waiting for it for 8 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost everything twice. I'm finally getting it back. So, okay, somebody come get me. I mean, I can move. I have no credit card debt. I have my house almost paid for. My car is paid for.
Got
Hey,
it together.
well, people say, well, who wants to move or who would, here I am. I just need to be able to get home to see my granddaughter once a month. That's my deal.
Yeah.
So, but you say that to somebody, because they're like, oh, you live where? Hey, then you really aren't looking for a serious relationship. Or they say, well, I'm never getting married again. Why? Why? Oh, it's just a piece of paper. What do you need a piece of paper for? Because I do.
Yeah,
Most
with your religion and all too.
Because I do. And if you're worried about your money, I don't have a problem signing a prenup if that's what you're worried about. I don't
Yeah, and
want your money.
I think that's normally the biggest thing,
Mm-hmm.
And not all
Yep.
women are as willing.
Yeah. I don't want your
That's
money.
another sign.
I'm looking for my soulmate. I'm looking for my other person. I'm looking for if you're worried about your money, then you're not looking for your person. So I'm not looking for your money,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking for money. I'm looking for a
It
person.
seems like a lot of the women of today, though, that's one of their first priorities. And I mean,
Right.
obviously, with all the scammers and stuff too, it doesn't help reinforce those ideas.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, like on TikTok, it's like I'm looking for a sugar baby, sugar mama,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, I'm from wherever, but I'm in with the military somewhere, and it's like I said, I can use block and delete so fast it's not funny.
Can
Yeah.
you see that? Can you see that question, Sherry? Somebody is asking you a question. Can you see that question up on the stage?
What do I think of the Minions? You know what? I have not watched that movie. I know the I see funny Minion meme things, but I have not seen that movie.
They're pretty cool.
Oh. And you would think having you know what? My granddaughter came over, and Cinderella is one of my favorite Disney movies. And so, like, I had dress up clothes and I put in Cinderella, and she was like, "This is a really boring movie." And I'm like, "What? This is one of the best movies ever." And she's like, "Nah, can we watch something else?" But it was an older Disney movie, so it wasn't like highly animated and entertaining.
Right.
Okay. You know, what'd she want to watch? Home Alone.
Oh,
Okay.
at least
So,
another classic.
You see what he said?
Yeah,
Surprise.
I'm so sorry. I've not seen the Minions. I'm so
You gotta watch
sorry.
Despicable Me first. That's where it all
Despicable
started.
Me.
Yeah, that's a good
No,
one.
I have not.
When the last time y'all guys been to the movies?
I just saw the new Batman movie. That was the last one I watched. So
My
about 2
dad,
weeks ago, I'd say.
my dad and I went and saw Avatar. That's the last movie I saw in the theater.
Wow, that was a while ago then.
Right?
Not a
And
big
the
film.
first movie that I ever saw in the theater, my dad took me to see The Jungle Book.
Wow.
Was
That's
that good?
showing my age.
Was that good?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Was that?
And my favorite TV show when I was a kid was The Monkees.
Oh
Anybody
yeah,
knows who
that's
the
awesome.
Monkees are?
Hey,
Yep.
hey.
Yep. I have their album. I have their the TV guide that they were on.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
funny
saw
they
them
had
in
their own
concert.
show.
Right?
It's pretty cool though.
Yep. And I collected monkeys for years.
Yeah.
Like the
And that's
original Beatles.
that's a non-offensive thing, which I did not know that was an offensive thing till 8 years ago.
What's that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, Shank, Sherry, I gotta go, but it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
but
you.
we really
Yep.
appreciate you.
Yeah, I
There's
appreciate you having these streams on the viewers join.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't be a stranger. Shari, we always going live, and so
Yeah, I've
just
seen a
make
lot of
sure
streams lately. Well, Sherry, I hope things work out and that you can find a good, God-loving man who values you as much as he should.
Thanks. You're a
And
sweetheart. You'll find somebody.
oh, I appreciate that. And Shank, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to $1 million thing. Been waiting. I'm very excited. So
all right, I appreciate
you
you,
guys have
Buck.
a good night. Yeah.
Night.
See you around.
Where's the ladies?
I don't know where the ladies at.
Where is Chicago here? Is Michi here?
I didn't see Michi. I didn't see Chicago.
Yeah, did you see like you guys, Michi like tagged me in a video on TikTok and he's got this food and he's in the clouds like he's God and he's gonna go cook. And I'm like, what's this crap? And you didn't even invite me. What the heck?
You said he didn't even invite you.
No, he's like, look at the food. Look at the food. He's so funny. His videos are funny. His wife's pretty. His kids are pretty. So, but yeah. This was good. Like when I was a little girl, like that I just wanted to be somebody's wife. That was I don't know. And I think that when I was younger, like I prayed and I read my Bible. I mean, I just think that's the heart God gave me when I was born. And it's been kind of devastating because that's all I ever wanted to be. And my first husband was a drinker. He smoked pot, and he was always worried about what him and his friends were going to do, and wasn't concerned about his family. So the bills getting paid was left up to me, which I should have been the keeper of the home, the mother, the nurturer, which I was. I tried very hard to be everything to everybody, but I was talking to my older client today, and she said she always kept a dollar bill taped to the refrigerator, and that was a reminder to her kids that that's all they had left till the end of the month, that they couldn't ask for anything, because once her paycheck came in, they didn't have any money left. So she paid all their lunches at the beginning of the month. She, whatever they had at the beginning of the month, everything got paid, and they couldn't ask for anything more until the next beginning of the month. So she said her kids like mowed grass and went around the neighborhood and got odd jobs. And I said, that was my kids. You couldn't just come home and say, hey, Mom, I need $20 tomorrow, because I'm not going to have that $20. Yeah. Unless I got a big tip or, some miraculous miracle fell out of the sky, because you can't spring it on me. We got to plan for it.
Yeah.
So and bless my daughter's heart, we shopped at Goodwill before Goodwill was popular.
Yeah.
And she had a homecoming dress and a prom dress from Goodwill. And I'm telling you what, I don't know many girls today that if their mom said, honey, I'm really sorry, we're gonna have to shop for another means for a dress. And she rocked that thing. I mean, and her clothes, she could make an outfit and people would say, where'd you get that at? And I played it off as, you know what, like if you would have bought that at the Gap, or, then somebody likes it the next day, they're going to have the same outfit. If you buy it here, you have your own style. They can't run to the store and buy the same thing, But I remember my grandma shopped garage sales. And talk about mean girls, like my one granddaughter is being bullied right now, but my grandma bought me this shirt. I loved it. It kind of reminds me of the one I have on. Loved it. And I wore it to school the next day. And one of the prissy girls came up to me and she goes, where'd you get that shirt? And I said, I don't know. My grandma got it for me. And she goes, I think she got it at our garage sale. And it was like, great, And I never wore that shirt to school again. And my mom kept saying, I thought you really liked that shirt. It's like, I really do like that shirt. I'm just not wearing it to school. Yeah. But, when I tell people we got a new outfit, I got a new outfit for my birthday, which was in August. I got a new outfit for Christmas. I got a new outfit for Easter. We didn't have. My sister and I were kind of the same size. We could trade stuff up. She could wear my clothes better. I could wear her clothes because I was taller, but we didn't have, And my dad, when you talk about the parents doing the, playing the game, whatever clothes my dad bought us, he kept at his house. Well, those were the nice clothes. They had the money, I would have loved to took those Jordache jeans home. Nope, they stay here. Well, dang it. How I would have thought I was like $1 million if I could have worn those Jordache jeans into school. Yeah. Just, we were pawns being,
I liked this demonstration. Relationship tips with Shari. We definitely gonna do this again. My allergies starting to get the best of me now. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this demonstration up. We want to thank everybody for pulling up and coming to this demonstration, relationship tips with Shari. Make sure everyone, if you got a TikTok account, make sure everyone follows Shari on TikTok.
Sherry Lee, 1983.
Also, I believe you're on Instagram as well. You want to?
It's retro on Instagram. It's retro hairstylist, and then on Facebook, it's I'd have to type that one in. Sherry Kilchman Miller.
Yeah.
Kilcherman, you'd be like, what?
Yeah. Make sure everybody follow. And after the demonstration, Sherry will go in the comment section and she'll drop all the links. That'll be easy for you guys. Sherry,
Nicole has a question.
Where's she at? All right, Nicole, what's your question?
Nicole, I used to go into the grade schools for, I forget what it was, like for my job, and talk about my job to like young girls so that they would go into cosmetology, like to try and get them to go to the vocational schools. Because you know what, like 1 year of cosmetology now is like 1 year of college. It can be from anywhere from 22 to 35,000 for 1 year of cosmetology. And
Okay.
if you go to a vocational school, it's like 1,500.
Right. I tried to bring you up, Nicole. That didn't work. Get your question together. While we wait for Nicole to get her question together, just hit it in the comment section. I got a few announcements to make. So we'll wait on Nicole's question while I make these announcements.
Check your settings, because the other night I couldn't come up and my phone was being funky. It was my settings.
All right. The first announcement is we're going to be giving cash prize giveaways on the channel every time we come live. So every time the Shank Rock and the Rock Squad comes on and do a live demonstration, we're giving away $50. We're also giving away $100. How to earn the $50 is very easy. If you can bring 5 people to the live streaming, make sure that they subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure they hit the like button. And also make sure they leave in a comment that they're here on the live streaming on behalf of you. When you get 5 people to come in on that live streaming, you'll win $50. How to win $100? Same demonstration, but you have to bring in 10 people. So if you get 10 people to show up at the live streaming, make sure they subscribe to the channel, as well as hit the like button, and also tell them to leave in the comment section, I'm here on behalf of so-and-so. I'll try to bring Nicole up one last time.
Hello.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Sherry. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read the book, The 5
Love
Languages?
languages? Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Okay.
Every one of them, for your children, for your single and dating, married.
Okay.
I am quality time and physical touch, and the other 3 are a 3-way tie. So my brother, who is a pastor, says you're all 5.
Mm. Wow. Well, you know what, Sherry? So I've been reading it lately, and I've determined many things that have helped me, because everyone has their own special way of giving love.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't know those things, we might miss them, you know? So, my question for you, in your life, after reading this book, when you think back on your life, are there any decisions you would have made differently?
You know what? I dated a guy, and I'm a giver too. Like, I'm quality time, but like my friends, like tomorrow I'm meeting my one girlfriend. I haven't seen her for 6 months, and I have a gift package for her. I have some hand sanitizer and shampoo and perfume, and
Oh,
that's just me. And I had a guy, and Like if I was out and it's probably Goodwill, saw something that reminded me of him, I would get it for him. And he'd be like, "Why do you do that? You know I don't like gifts." And I'd say, "Why don't you just say thank you and say, I'm glad you were thinking about me, you know?" And he goes, "Well, it seems like gifts would be something you would like." And I would think, "Yeah, clue." you know, and or cards, or I don't know. That should have been a red flag. Boom, you're gone. Poof, be gone. But I don't know. Wisdom comes with age, I guess. My kids, my daughter was a hard one. She was quiet. She didn't. And one day, I would do stuff for her, and finally, one day she said, "Mom, I am acts of service."
Mm.
And I said, "Okay, got it." Because I was always saying, "Honey, you're beautiful. Honey, why don't you smile?" She'd say she wanted something, and I'd have it on her bed when she got home. Did you see what I got you? Yeah, thanks. I'd be thinking, my gosh, and she just finally said, "Mom, why don't you ask me what I need, or if I need you to do something for me? That's my love language."
Wow.
Got it, Mom. Got it. Got it. So when she was struggling after her baby daddy left her, and she was like, "Mom, I really need my house cleaned." Boom, on it. "Mom, my laundry." Got it. That's her love language. So,
You know what? My oldest daughter, oh my gosh, you're making me think about something now. My oldest daughter, she said to me, Mom, just a card means a lot, and I'm not one for cards, Christmas cards, birthday cards. I'm just not that lady. But she was like, Mom, cards mean a lot. And it made me think about that. And I'm like, wow. And that's what made me go back and reread that book, because we all have our own expression of love. And our expressions of love are not the same with everyone else. And so I'm looking at myself, and I'm looking at the cards that I have stacked up. Congratulations on your anniversary. Congratulations on your dissertation. And they're sitting there in my drawer that I never sent. But now I understand the importance of it,
I did my mom's hair this morning, and she said it that my stepdad said it, but I know it was coming from her.
Mm.
Before you start, I just want you to know that we still live at the same address. And that was from Dave. And I'm supposed to give you a hug from him. Hug. And I said, "Mom, last week I worked 56 hours. Friday night I was in the emergency room for 3. I had Saturday off, and I worked yesterday."
And I don't want to cut you ladies off, but we're going to have to pick up this demonstration another day and another time. So once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Remember, everybody, it's countdown to my 50th birthday. I will be turning 50 March the 27th, which is this Sunday. So I'll see everybody on the next live streaming.
You can message me, Nicole. I'll put my stuff in the link.